Hi, welcome to the Semi-Professional Podcast. I'm David, and this week I'm joined with...
Hey, I'm Jacob.
Hey, I'm Calvin, also known as that wizard guy.
Welcome to the second episode of the Semi-Professional Podcast. We've had a pretty amazing week, actually. We've launched our website, which has been going pretty well as our first animation and podcast. So I think we're doing pretty good, and hopefully we keep the upward angle.
Let's hope that keeps on the up and up.
Go check out episode 1 of this disaster we're about to roll out. Where can they find it, David?
They can find it on our website, madguardian.com, or the first episode's on SoundCloud.
We gotta make sure we shill right out the gate. Yeah, all right.
Well, yeah, that's how you know we're serious when we start the shilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We need that dosh right now, okay?
That's sweet.
Like,
dosh.
seriously.
We've literally just, like, right here in the little recording zone, have just a bowl full of dollar bills for DoorDash so we can eat. So, hey, y'all.
Because we need some lounge. We need lounge.
Wonderful progress made this week, though, so we're good.
Yeah,
totally. We're doing amazingly. We have actually 3 Patreons after launching for 2 days.
which like is kind of a feat of itself because we got those in like what?
Like, in about 15 hours.
Yeah,
It was pretty insane.
yeah, I'd say that's pretty.
Basically, internet, we're a big deal.
Yeah, the biggest deal, right?
Do you know anyone else with 3 patrons? No.
So, what have you guys been doing this week?
Well, I've been trying to manage the game team. We're working on a little game side project. It's not been going great. one of our members is out sick right now. Nikki, bless her soul and her allergies to the entire world, is currently out of commission right now.
I'm so surprised that she's even still on this earth with the allergies that she has.
Yeah, she's allergic to what? Outdoors?
She's allergic to life.
Pretty much, yeah.
The amount of allergies she has at this point is a shorter list to say what she's not allergic to.
Yeah, but she does a great job.
She's a trooper.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What about you, Kelvin? What's your work
Dude,
been?
I've just been looking up Dungeons and Dragons stuff this entire time. Like, there's just been a whole bunch of weird rules that no one really ever uses in Dungeons and Dragons that I'm just like, how is that a thing?
We've got him started.
Are we talking 5e or before? Because the before doesn't exist because it's too weird.
Dude, at this point, no one ever really plays anything that's like in the past, like past 4e or anything like that.
You get people who are like into Pathfinder.
Sure, yeah.
Pathfinder's new, but what's it, like 3e? Essentially,
Pathfinder was supposedly like 3.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just an offshoot of like the people who worked on like the actual 3.5 of Dungeons and Dragons, and they're just like, well, let's just make an offshoot of our own because this is not turning to be the Dungeons and Dragons we want it to be.
For those of you who are not nerdy basement dwellers like ourselves,
why are you watching this podcast?
Why are you here? We love you anyway, but why are you here?
We love you, but we're dirty.
So 3E stands for 3rd edition and all that other stuff. We play, whenever we play, we do the most up-to-date 5E, just to eliminate any possible confusion. There are some very strange rules.
Oh yeah,
in 3.5E.
What was it? There were certain creatures in 3.5 that just had literally immunities to like certain types of damage, like a lot of types, and a lot of players just didn't really like that at all in 3.5, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no. I see nothing wrong with coming up against a creature that you shoot at and it just goes, no. That's not going to work today.
Your damage is dumb and stupid. You can't do it.
What's it immune to? Specifically blades.
What do you think I'm carrying? What am I going to throw a rock at it?
This is a party of fighters. What are you talking about?
No, you know your DM hates you when it's like, what does your party consist of? Oh, mostly rangers. Here's something made of rock. It's immune to arrows.
Oh yeah, cool. Thanks, DM. That was really nice of you. Yeah, great challenge.
Hate you too.
Can we talk for a minute about some of the concept art from old D&D? Because
oh my god, that is
I've
super fucking hilarious.
I've brought some of the advanced Dungeons and Dragons. My father, a man who was a D&D player in the 70s, I think.
It came, like,
whenever it came
The
out.
olden days.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons came out a really
Let's
long
see
time
here.
ago.
Let's
Yeah,
see here.
he's given me quite a few like large pamphlets of little D&D modules, and you thumb through any of these and you see the illustrations of any of the creatures, and it's like, yeah, I get what that's supposed to be, but
like to get an idea of what the illustrations are.
this one that was pointed
Oh,
out,
yeah,
this
that
man
one.
who looks just very perturbed. There's just a bunch of. I think it's a trap. There's just a bunch of faces on the wall, but they're mostly just either happy or completely neutral, and the overly detailed player character reacting to them just looks disgusted.
I'm going to describe it like this for anyone listening who's played Pokemon. It's like if a bunch of disc-shaped dittos just floated at you.
They're just really.
And then for whatever reason you were just mortified, like terrified. This person is not okay with what's happening. These faces are doing nothing.
Also, I looked at the copyright for this book. It came out in 1984.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't existing
I
yet.
guess the 80s.
Neither did I.
That's
See, it's
surprising.
the weird thing too, because you have illustrations like this that are like really artsy, like really well drawn. There's like 5 headshots of these really really well drawn nobles and royalty, but then you have this cocky dude with a cup.
Why is he giving like bedroom eyes to a cup?
We had this debate on the way here.
Yeah.
You know that he's a meme. He's the dungeon master. He's bald on the top of his head. He's got white hair, red robes. He always does. That's him. That's him.
For any of you guys
Absolutely.
who have actually seen the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon back in the day, that like some of the adventure modules we have pictures of that guy, but he doesn't look quite the same. The one that we have,
he looks taller.
Is the exact same face. Like I saw it and I was like, "Who is this?" I recognize this so much, and I had to. I had no idea what I was even googling, and I looked it up, and I was just like, "That's him! It's the meme! That's the fucker!"
That's the fucker.
Yeah,
that's the fucker right there.
I'm saying that all the way here.
So, Calvin,
Yeah.
as a DM as well,
Yeah.
mainly also like me, you love to play spellcasters.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
man.
you have been sending me messages about the weirdest spells you could find in 5e for like a week.
Oh, dude, like.
Would you like to share some of them with the great audience at home?
I would love to. There are some really interesting spells just altogether in this whole entire like list. Like not just wizard spells, not just like, you know, like druid spells or whatever. There's just interesting ones, and some of them are in like the supplementary books, mostly from like Xanathar's guide, because they just add a whole bunch of like weird spells from it.
I swear they just hired one guy like, listen, think of an effect and then build a spell around
Yeah,
it.
no,
We
exactly.
don't care how weird it is.
All right, so one of which I was looking at not too long ago was this one spell called Tiny Servant.
Oh yeah, he's been talking about Tiny Servant.
Dude, it's so cool, right? Because the thing is, the way that Tiny Servant works as a spell is that you need to have some object that's like tiny in like size scale, right? And in D&D, that means anything that's like 2.5 feet or smaller in any dimension, right? So you can make like a wooden bowl or like a spoon or something into what is called this Tiny Servant. And all it does is it makes this item just sprout little tiny legs and arms and just does things for you like a servant would.
Be our guest, be our guest.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just that.
The thing that entertains me the most about this is you described how these entities attack, and they use the attack called slam. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of creatures, if you read like the monster manual or any of the other supplementary books with creatures, have the attack slam, and it's not exactly explained what it does in great detail.
No, it's just sort of assumed that it's just like
Yeah.
hitting your body. Or
That's
something.
the way you described it to me was that these tiny things, like the size of maybe a tea kettle,
Yeah.
just kind of just like stomp up to you and just throw their entire body weight into your shins and hope you collapse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which they deal what was maximum like 5 like a D4 plus 1 damage.
Yeah, it's really not that much.
Which is guys, it's equivalent to getting fucking stabbed. A tea kettle knocking you in the shins. It's like getting shanked, and I'm upset about it.
I will say though, imagine walking into a building and having about 12 apples with faces and legs sprint full speed at you and just ram into your knees.
Dude, welcome to a hag's hut.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Like, would you be terrified or just confused?
I'd be more initially confused. Then when I found out they could like probably grab stuff and stab me with them. Or
Yeah, no,
whatever.
they could totally do that too. They have
I'd be
arms.
confused and then frightened. in that order.
Granted, if they did try and pick something up, their strength would really not allow them to do very much with that thing at all anyways.
That still means they could throw rocks.
They could try. I honestly, I'd be more worried if an apple hopped out of a barrel of apples and just walked over to me and was just like, yeah, and just jumped at me. Because this thing sprouted legs I didn't even know it had, and maybe it's got teeth. Like, I don't.
Oh God, I don't want to think about an apple with teeth.
Think about apple with teeth, guys. Apple with teeth. Think about apples with teeth.
In
Put
D-
this image in your mind.
In D&D, apple bites you.
That just reminds me of that one meme online of the pear with the teeth.
Oh God, I hate that picture.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't like it.
That's an old meme at this point.
I know. I think you showed it back.
Calvin?
Showed it to me like back in AI,
Yeah.
in college.
Calvin, that's not a meme. That's nightmare.
Look, it could be a nightmare.
That is what you see
And
on a
beam at
fever
the same
dream.
So to put some context behind what I just said, we all know each other from going to the Art Institute out here in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of how we all met and how we all
We're
began
all
to
art
associate.
students.
that was an experience. That's all I can say.
It was a time.
It was a time.
It was a fun time until they went bankrupt twice and closed.
Yeah. I still miss it more than high school.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if they hadn't have done that, I'd still be there.
Yeah.
We would have been graduated. Oh no, I would have been graduated by now. You'd still be there.
I would. Yeah, I would.
Consume a dick.
Because we were going to be graduated in December. He was still stuck there for a couple
we
of years.
had to like real fast get graduated, otherwise that we would not have that
Were
opportunity.
you take 7 courses in a semester?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember I would come in and I'd be like, "Hey, Calvin," you'd be like,
I had to take 7 whole courses in one semester and also an internship. Just to be able to get
I had
through
to
there.
quit
"Where did
my
you end up
pu-
interning?"
I internshipped at
Because I thought you interned with David.
no, I didn't intern.
No,
with
we
David.
were not at the same
I
company.
interned with Kashan actually.
Ah.
He was the person that was working with me, and I worked at a life insurance company.
Oh.
And
wow.
it's weird because I worked there not really doing my degree necessarily because I was working on a VR game.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
It's kind of.
Well, the idea was that this game was supposed to be a training thing for new employees. It's to be like
You want to tell everybody what your degree is in?
my degree is in media arts and animation. You know, it's a fun time.
I mean,
Oh.
but no, I was not with Calvin for my internship. I actually was with our guest from last week, Ian.
Yeah.
Ian also went to college with us.
To sort of rip the veil, Ian is here. He's the one operating our soundboard. Hey, Ian, prove that I'm not lying.
Yeah, prove that you exist.
prove you're still here, and try like your hardest not to talk about SAO. Just like as hard as you can try.
Well, I don't need to try too hard about that, okay,
Alright,
buddy?
cool,
So
awesome.
just stay with your Natsuki. I'll stay with my Monica.
Good to see that we're keeping.
How dare you?
It took you 5 seconds to drop an anime.
I'm angry.
Good thing we're a very professional team.
No,
For
we are
anyone who missed that in the
semi-professional.
chaos of my fury, this man just dropped a Doki Doki Literature Club reference and is trying to tell me Monica's best girl. I'm upset.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but AI was a really
Trash taste, calling anime chicks thick. Nah.
You are really upset.
I am. I'm tilt. You know, fuck AI.
We are not going down this rabbit hole of talking about anime girls.
Fine. Episode 3, but
Oh my God.
We'll make an entire.
we
podcast
went down
about
this.
that.
We went down this rabbit hole last time about Ian talking about SAO.
In any case,
in any case, so D&D, right?
yeah, D&D. Weird game. Lots of weird stuff in that.
What a weird game.
It's a weird game. It's so weird they actually have a spell called Weird.
Yeah, I've seen weird.
It's just weird. I mean, there's
Wow,
really no other
dude.
way to put it. Yeah.
Insightful commentary.
thanks, man. You know,
Insightful commentary. It's weird. It's called weird, and it's also weird.
You know, it's a very
Weird.
weird spell called weird. It's pretty weird.
That's very weird.
Word of the day, guys. Weird.
This episode of Semi Professional is brought to you by Weird.
Brought to you by the letter weird.
The letter Weird.
Yeah, WXY weird.
Sounds like a rapper name.
That's dude.
It probably is.
It's me.
It's
XY
me.
weird.
That's my shadow job.
but regardless of that, Weird is an illusion spell that just makes a whole bunch of like deepest fears come to reality and start attacking people.
That's pretty weird.
So
That's
why
pretty
is it
weird.
why is it called Nightmare?
I don't know.
That sounds like a way better name.
I think there's just another spell that's a lower level that does the same thing but only to one target. Right?
Yeah, it's
So at level 1, we've got Fear Toxin. At level whatever that one is, we've got all of Gotham City.
Oh, this one's a 9th level spell.
Oh,
It's on the level of like Wish type of power, right?
So next to this is we've got Wish and Max Fireball.
yeah.
Yeah, you could level up Fireball, or you could use what was this one
Is that
called?
Tsunami? I'm looking at your computer screen. I just see Tsunami.
Yeah, no,
he's-
there's also a spell called Tsunami.
He's got an entire like categorized list of D&D spells up right now.
It's cool
It's
stuff.
actually on a site called
Yeah.
5e Tools, and it's just under the section that says spells.
Oh yes, to not at all sponsored, by the way.
Unless you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, please.
5e Tools, if you want to sponsor us, please, we'd love that. But 5e Tools, anybody who's interested in doing DM work or even player stuff, a really, really good mobile tool. It's got just about every. I think it takes in all the new book drops. Like it has, I think, up past Acquisition Incorporated on there now. Incorporated.
They're probably gonna soon include the new what was it? The Adventurer's Guide to Wildmount or whatever that new book is coming out that Matt Mercer's been working on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in just getting into D&D in general, it's a really, really good site. Again, 5etools.com. .com?
Yes, .com.
Okay, 5etools.com. Really, really helpful website. Really easily navigated. And Matt Mercer himself even did a little bit of recording for some of the monster pronunciations. For, I believe the first monster manual book on the site. So
same with
Well, as we all know, Matt Mercer is an ethereal being that when D&D is spoken about, he appears.
I would like to do, Calvin, could you please do me one thing,
What's
acting
that?
as a potential soundboard in this sense? Could you pull up my favorite, the enemy whose name I think is very funny when said by Matt Mercer?
Okay,
could you please
yeah.
just play
Hold
that
on.
at max volume for everybody?
I
gonna
will hope the mic will pick it up.
I'm gonna need a second to actually
we,
find it.
Yeah, we gotta hope the mic picks this up, but it's so. I will say what the monster is called. It is called a Catoblepus. It is it's like a level 5. Yeah, see, it's dumb. It's basically like a dinosaur cow that lives in a swamp. But the way Matt Mercer says it on the site is just overly enunciated and weirdly funny. Crank her up to max volume. Catoblepus.
Calvin is now currently swiveling his laptop to try and get this.
We're spinning the bad boy. All right, here we go into the mic.
All right, everyone quiet.
Here it is.
That's it right there. Hopefully you guys caught that.
Can we get confirmation, Ian? Yep, we've caught Catoblepus. It's awesome.
Let me just say,
live on tape,
It
guys.
sounds like he's trying to pronounce it from an encyclopedia.
let me just
Catoblepus.
say that the image for this thing is
It's ugly.
I don't know what this thing even is.
I love him.
I'm going to describe what first came to mind when I looked at this.
Pull up the full image. Go to images.
It looks like a mildly depressed warthog mixed with a giraffe
go to
that's a
images.
little bit too fat.
There's the full
Oh,
boy.
wow.
I stand by my description.
It's got a club tail and everything.
To me, it reminds me of like if a camel was just really, really fat, but like vertically instead of horizontally.
Its face makes me look like the face every middle manager makes. Just
I
sad depression.
All right, guys, your Google challenge of today.
Look up a
Look up a
Catoblepus,
Catoblepus.
and you will know what we're talking about.
It's a wild.
Let us know if you agree with my description of this thing.
Where can they let us know about their Catoblepus, David?
Twitter would be the best.
Twitter. What is our official Twitter now that we've got everything up and running?
You have blindsided me. Let me look up because I don't remember exactly what it is.
All right, semi-professional, ladies and gentlemen.
We're living up to the name of the podcast.
Pretty much, right? If we're not being semi-professional, then who are we?
Guys, what's our Twitter?
Listen, I know our Twitter is Mad Guardian something, but I don't remember if it's Mad Guardian
Mad
official
official
or what.
We'll get confirmation here in just a second, folks. Calvin,
I was not prepared to be asked what our Twitter tag was today.
Look, we're gonna have to shill ourselves at least a little bit
do
more.
tell Calvin. A question to post for the rest of the table. I'll ask this as well to you, David, once you have found the.
Well, start asking because I found it.
Oh, David has found it. Where can they tell us about their Catoblepus experiences?
If you agree with my description of what the hell a Catoblepus looks like, go ahead and at us on Twitter at Mad Guardians. That's Mad Guardian, plural.
Mad Guardians with an S.
With an
and
S.
all that.
We could have made a Z and made us really edgy, but we have limits.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we had to put the S on there too.
Because Mad Guardian was taken.
Yeah, it was just an account that was already used by someone who hasn't been on there for what, years?
There's nothing on it.
There's nothing on
It's
there.
just if you look up Mad Guardian, it's just a page but nothing on
There
it.
was a picture of like some random dude sitting in a chair in like a kitchen.
If
I
you,
don't
if you guys
remember.
want to look up Mad Guardian, put that S on the end of it so you can tell us about a cat Obliquus.
Yes.
Oh,
That was the most organic shill I've ever heard.
thank you.
Most organic.
So to pose a question to the table on the subject of D&D critters, because I find them immensely fascinating and fun to read about.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys have a favorite Dungeons and Dragons monster?
Yes.
Any? Oh, you were quick on the draw, David. What is yours?
Mine is the classic, the best, the goopy gelatinous cube.
I mean, that's a lot of people's favorites.
It's a cube of jello that
It's a good
murders
one.
you.
It's a few pineapples and nuts away from being a dessert that kills.
It really is. I love it because its implication is it can't really chase you down. It's
Yeah.
just in a room waiting.
The thing I find funny about it is it specifically says hallways it's been through are spotless and cleaned,
Yes.
which means this thing is just
This thing is a magic eraser with sentience.
Isn't there some kind of lore behind it where it was like actually created by like wizards of old to actually clean up?
I don't
like,
think
their
it was. I don't think
labs
it was
and
not
such?
made by wizards of old. Well, it's technically an ooze, so I guess it comes from where all oozes come from, the abyss, I guess. But a lot of wizards use them. It does specify a lot of wizards are just like, ooh, I never need to sweep again.
Isn't it true that they like a koi fish, they grow to the size of their environment?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what you're saying is, if I took a gelatinous cube and just stuck it in the ocean,
You would probably end all life in the
what
ocean.
you're saying is I could make a Godzilla sequel with a gelatinous cube.
That's assuming
it's a kai jello.
This is
It's
assuming
a
that the jello.
kaigu. A kaigu.
Jacob, can I stick that on a shirt? A kai jello.
Please call it a kaigu.
Kaigu.
Now this is assuming that the gelatinous cube will survive at all in the ocean.
I want to see a gelatinous cube fighting a shark.
I do, not to put a horrible damper on it, but I do believe by default they do like dissolve in water, like
So,
like a
strong-
gel caplet.
So you give it a door. You recreate Titanic with the gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
You just don't put two of them because they can't fit.
Pretty much, yeah.
What about you, Calvin? What is your favorite Dungeons and Dragons monster?
See, my favorite Dungeons and Dragons monster is not one that people really use very much at all,
Yeah.
and it's from like the OG Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
And they brought it back in 5th edition.
Yeah.
It's it's really more just like the quote unquote race of these things, and they come from the plane of law.
Oh, it's the Modrons.
Yeah, the Modrons.
Of course, you love the Modrons.
The Modrons are kind of weirdly fascinating in the fact that they're just very specific about like how many of like each individual kind of Modron there needs to be. Like everything is like perfect synchronized and has to be like a specific number.
They're like beings of pure order. Like everything they do is like calculated down to the wire.
Yeah, but the thing about them is that they look so strange. Like they're all constructs.
All right.
They're all constructs.
Second Google challenge of the day, everybody. Look up a Modron from 5th edition and then look up a Modron from 1st edition.
Yeah, the difference in art is so drastically different.
God. So in 5th edition, they have this interesting like steampunk mechanic where they're kind of like little mechanized creatures with some biological aspects, but in 1st edition, they are just horrifying shapes with faces. It's like it's borderline unpleasant to look at.
They're really, really strange in 1st edition.
Yeah. I had a whole day where I was looking at just old D&D art, and I came across the Modrons, and I found a monodrone, which is the smallest single Modron. They like go up in like numerics. There's like monodrone, duodrone, etc.
Yeah.
It's a Pokemon.
It's
pretty much described.
It's just like a monodrone. It's just a ball. It's a circle with an eye and a face, and it's like it's not. I hate it.
Now, don't get confused with that thing being like a beholder.
I was just about to say it sounds like
It's
a
not a
smaller,
beholder.
less intense beholder.
If you look at the beholder and the monodrone side by side, they're almost the exact same in 1st edition.
So this is the current D&D 5th edition monodrone.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
He's got a picture of it. This little fella with like wings and like a mechanical setup. He's cute. He's cute, appealing. It's nice.
He's like Mike Wazowski if you give him a sword.
Yeah, kinda. Sorta, yeah. But, like, in a good way, and, like, less like a kind of way, you know?
Why is your description of Mike Wazowski Nia?
Because that's the sound he makes. That's the Mike Wazowski, which I found the Mike Wazowski scream.
So
Yeah, it's not okay. It's just...
Okay, let me describe this.
Go ahead.
The first edition mono drone looks like if anyone listening has played the game Spore...
I just made anything.
It's the first creation anyone has ever made in Spore.
Oh, yeah.
That is a mono drone.
It's like a ball with knees that go above its head.
An eye that looks out of place. What is that, Calvin?
That's a tri-drone.
That's the
Okay, this one looks like if you took the Illuminati pyramid, gave it legs, and let it just roam.
And now this one.
It's a tube. Which one is this?
I don't remember, actually.
Scroll. Which one is this? It probably says it somewhere.
Let's see. This one is...
A nanotron.
Oh, it's a nanotron.
Nanoton.
It's like the 9 one.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's just okay. This one is just a cylinder. It's a cylinder with 2 cylinders that are its legs, but it's got weird tentacles coming out of its belly button.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out all the facial expressions from first edition are just unamused.
I love the square. Look at that. Look at that face.
That's a quadrone.
The long one looks like a bit crushed meme.
And here's all the current ones from...
See, the current ones are so good. They're polished and they look nice.
The current ones look like they didn't take 5 seconds in a break room on a napkin.
They're appealing.
They're much better to look at than the first edition ones.
No.
Like, by far.
To very quickly move away from these nightmares you burdened us with, Calvin.
What are you talking about? They're amazing. They can do lots of cool
And I'm
things.
sure that this is absolutely riveting to listen to, us talking about something we're looking at on an audio podcast.
Yes, this very visual podcast. You know, who knows? We might edit in pictures of these nightmares later.
never know.
It's a audio file.
An
Let me just put links below.
audiophile is somebody who likes to have sex with music.
That's not what that means. Not even close.
Oh, gosh.
Personally, my favorite D&D creature is one that is not powerful, it's not grandiose, it's not amazing. It's literally just meant to irritate a party, not even stop them. It is called a nilbog, which for those of you who can't speak backwards is goblin backwards.
Original.
All it does is it prances around trying to get people to clap for it and praise it because it's dressed like a jester. And it has an interesting ability wherein, one, every time someone tries to hit it, they need to make a roll to do it successfully. And if they fail, they instead do not swing at it and clap for it. And if it does get hit by an attack, it can use a reaction on its outside of its turn to take 0 damage and heal instead.
Yeah, the nilbog is pretty interesting, honestly.
I like to say it's not hard to kill, it's hard to fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just there to be aggravating, and as somebody who is DMing currently for some of the members of our podcast right now, I find this vastly entertaining because there's nothing I like more than putting inconveniences in people's way. It's one thing when you have an enemy. Like an enemy, you're like, oh, I can take that enemy, I can kill it easily, I might come out scratched, but no one minds coming out scratched. If it's like, this thing a nilbog probably will never hurt you. It will not harm you. You'll just be there for like 10 rounds. Like, why isn't it dead?
Yeah, the nilbog is... Apparently, in the lore of D&D, there's always supposed to be just one nilbog.
No, there's one nilbog typically per like goblin tribe. There's a bunch of them because they're possessed goblins, essentially possessed by like the avatar of a nameless goblin god, who is nameless because if he had a name, another goblin god would kill him. Is this Game of Thrones? Is it the plot of Game of Thrones? Like,
I've never watched Game of Thrones. Look at me.
I haven't watched it either.
This is just the plot of Game of Thrones, guys. Is this complicated?
It's just Throne of Game.
I mean, once you start dipping into like deity lore of D&D, it becomes like okay, interesting.
There's a lot of interesting little.
That was someone's college thesis.
No, that's right.
It's so long.
I love talking about the gnome god and the kobold god.
Oh, you mean
So,
gold?
yeah,
Yeah, Garl
the-
Gold.
The
Yeah.
god of gnomes is named Garl Glittergold, which the story could end there, but
Yeah, pretty much, right?
there's a bit of D&D history wherein all kobolds hate all gnomes because the gnome god either trapped or killed the kobold god, depends on where you're reading it from. But essentially the way it went was I believe the kobold god was enslaving gnomes, and the god of gnomes was like, "Hey, dude, I made those. Can I have them back?" And he said, "No." And so to get like his people freed, Garl Glitter Gold lured the god of kobolds into a cave and blew it up.
Yeah, you know, like...
And then fiddledy-teed out of there like Lucky from the Lucky Charms box.
Oh, that'll teach you all the kobolds there. I'll try to read them out.
Just before he died, the kobold god sitting there like, man, I had so many slaves.
Yeah.
So now every kobold hates just about every gnome.
I mean, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that happens in terms of interactions between the gods in D&D. There's a lot of that.
Can we talk for a moment about the god of halflings? Many of the
Oh,
gods
yeah,
of halflings.
that guy.
Because, well, there's like 8 or 9 of them. There's a handful of halfling gods. The thing is, the halflings never actually had a god. Their god just adopted them. Because you read up on how halflings happened, and they just kind of were described as eternal. They've just always been here on the material plane, and at one point, some small woman who had some amazing amount of power came across them and was like, "Hey, they look like me. You're my kids now." And
I'm going to adopt you. You have no choice in this matter.
with no hesitation, they were all just there like,
All right, cool.
sure, we need a deity.
Oh, cool.
And
To be fair, if someone just wanders up to you and goes, "I am an all-powerful being, you are now my child," you're not going to say no.
I mean, yeah,
usually you
very
won't.
little dispute, but they were all just there like, makes sense, you like us, but powerful.
Fair enough.
And then like 8 other ones came out of somewhere. No one really knows.
That's sort of the weird thing about, like, you know, the halflings in D&D. It's sort of the same thing, like, that happened in, like, the Lord of the Rings, where you don't know where the halflings or, like, the hobbits came from. They just came from somewhere.
They might be a race of man, they might not be. They live in the hills, some of them live in the river, but those ones are gone now.
Either way, everyone knows that they've just been around since the dawn of time.
No, what I find even funnier about that one, Calvin, is that everyone forgot about them existing.
Right, no, you're
Like,
right. Yeah.
straight up, when they went to get the Shire as, like, their land, they walked up, they went to one of the nearby kings of men and went, "Hey, can we, like, have this land?" And he's like, "What the hell are you? Where did you come from?" They're like, we've
been here the entire time. Where have you been?
They're basically like, "We've been living on this land for, like, 1,000 years." He's like, "Where did you come from?" I guess you could have that land. Stay there, I think.
Like, we can't really move you now, so...
See, I have not once ever had the joy of playing a halfling in D&D, but I would love to, because in the ways they are described, it is said that just like everyone just likes them. If you're not evil, everyone loves you if you're a halfling.
Except if you're a goblin.
I mean,
usually
goblins are usually pretty
Goblin
evil.
hate everything.
But the goblins hate the halflings especially.
Well, yeah, because
is
they're probably
that?
the same height.
It had something to do between, like, some...
Is it some other god?
It's probably some other
It's
gods.
other guys. It's a god thing.
It's a god thing.
It's another god
It's a
thing.
pantheon thing. I don't know.
Um,
It's complicated. I don't know why there's a whole bunch of, like, oh, they just hate each other naturally because that was just how it always was.
yeah.
That's just kind of strange sometimes.
For those D&D savants out there, take this at face value, as none of us are professionals. Please do not write to Mad Guardians on Twitter and say, "You got the lore wrong and I'm angry, Ree." That wouldn't make me very happy.
I mean, on the bright side, that means people are listening.
Yeah, hey.
I mean, at the very least. Hey,
Listen,
by the way,
we're putting this on the internet, so we're going to get good, bad, and indifferent, and all of it means people are listening.
yeah, at least people are listening. Hey, also, buy our merch.
buy that merch that we probably have.
Yeah, I mean, we have a
It's
t-shirt
on
line.
Redbubble, yes.
We have a t-shirt line.
We have a t-shirt line.
What's
on Redbubble.
what's the red bubble?
It's not out yet. I'm still putting all the fancy things on it.
Well, that'll come out eventually, and when it does,
Guys,
buy our merch.
we almost have shirts.
Yeah.
I love how we talk for about 10 minutes and then it's like, hey, back to shilling.
No, look,
We're
it's
like-
come back up into thought. Like,
We're,
hey,
we're like a radio show where every 10 minutes we did a commercial break.
Right? No.
make
Look,
sure to drink your Ovaltine.
David, we need the cash right now. You don't understand. Like we're a starving company right now. We're only just barely getting off the ground.
Wait, hang on.
Can we,
Hold
can we
hold that
showcase,
thought for a second, Calvin. Ovaltine?
Drink your Ovaltine.
Why Ovaltine?
Delicious, nutritious Ovaltine.
Like, of all the products you could have said,
Brought to you by the Mad Guardian's team.
why are you like a Voxcaster?
Tell me when you get Ovaltine, David. It's old. Sponsored by Walmart brand frosted sugar cookies. Can we get sponsored by Walmart brand sugar cookies? Because these are
Well-
actually good.
So far, I think we have derailed into some other.
No, we've not.
We've actually stayed pretty on topic for a while.
No, yeah, you're
Fine.
right. You're right.
Now the topic is shilling. Bad Dragon,
no,
where are you?
No, now the topic is Ovaltine, apparently.
No.
And Walmart brand cookies.
No.
Is that even a Walmart brand or is that just great value brand?
Freshness guaranteed. It's a.
That's not a brand. Freshness
probably-
Guaranteed isn't a brand.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
To explain what y'all...
It's
But
Walmart.
to
Yeah,
explain
it's
to
right.
everyone,
We have a box of sugar cookies.
and we have a box of those generic, like...
Those like love 'em or hate 'em soft frosting cookies.
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you
And-
know, you know.
It's just there, and there's only one left. There was like a dozen of them, and they're gone.
And they're really good.
There's like only 5 people here, and they're gone. We like cookies.
Yeah, they're pretty good cookies.
We like our sugar cookie.
We like our sugar.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
One thing to be said about the Mad Guardians team, we do sure like our sugar. Just like a nutritious, delicious, sugary Ovaltine.
I mean, to be fair, there's also a box of donuts around there somewhere that is also gone.
Is it gone now?
No.
Oh, no,
well,
no,
they're
someone
still
just
gone.
consolidated them into another box.
All right, well, there you go. We got more donuts.
But, have you guys been watching any shows recently?
Actually.
Because I know none of us really watch TV.
Well, I don't know if I would want to mention this, but I've been watching some anime.
Mm.
I'm not gonna go. Ian, I swear to God.
Yeah, Ian has just looked over
No,
like his
you are
his
not
life has
allowed.
been given meaning.
Like a cat hearing a bell. It's like he's swung around like a thief in the night.
What animes have you been watching, Calvin?
I've mostly been watching the new season of My Hero Academia.
I still
it's
have to catch up on My Hero
It's
Academia.
getting real good. I can't really talk too much about it. Like, there's spoiler warnings for the most part for those of you who are not caught up on the newest season of My Hero.
Including me.
Me too.
Oh,
So
well-
don't.
Okay, well then
the
I'm
other
not gonna
two,
talk
the
about
other
that.
2 people on the podcast look at you going, "That's us."
All right, cool. Then my lips are being sealed.
All right, let me ask this, Jacob. What was the last season you watched of My Hero?
I believe 3.
Mine was 2.
Oh, gosh.
So we got 2, 3, and then one of the hell season
It's,
are up to
it's
now.
season 4 right
it was
now.
either
Season
was
4.
I think it was 3.
Hmm.
Yeah. Whichever one had teleporting Tintin in it.
Oh no, yeah, that was okay. That was at the end of 3. He's in season 4.
We
too.
all know who teleporting Tintin is.
Teleporting.
Look, man, he's not teleporting. He's just going through the ground.
Power.
So what you're saying is his power is no clip.
Yeah, no, it's literally just no
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know the character.
So I've not personally been watching much anime recently, but I have watched a couple movies recently.
oh god.
They're by no means are they new, but the Netflix original, The Irishman, a beautiful mafia movie,
I've
wonderful
seen it.
mob movie.
I have not. It's on my list. I haven't actually watched it yet. though.
It's
on my list too.
it's Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, everything you could want.
Say no more.
Yeah, exactly.
You got me. You had me at Joe Pesci.
I mean, like,
That and I've been watching. If anybody's heard of Fences, it's 2016 or 17 film, really good about 1950s family. Really, really entertaining films. I definitely recommend The Irishman. Wonderful performance by everyone involved.
I mean, it's got Joe Pesci. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci speaks Italian in it, dude. Like, Joe Pesci is a mafia boss, breaks bread with his hitman. Like,
Like,
I mean, a small part of me had to be. I looked at him because he's old. He's definitely like he's dressed a little older, like with the prosthetics and all that. So I'm looking, I was like, "Is that Joe Pesci? Is this Joe Pesci?" We look at Cast of the Irishman. It's like, "That's Joe Pesci.
that's
Joe
Joe-
Pesci.
That's Joe Pesci." I'm watching Joe Pesci break bread with his family. Like, it's the problem with that was after realizing that yes, in fact, it was Joe Pesci. I could not look at him and not think he's like chasing Kevin. Like, Like, he's sending his hitman to go and rob the McAllister house.
Listen, it's a cinematic timeline of the Home Alone franchise.
Not
This is what happened after the Wet Bandits got out.
They became the Sticky Bandits in the second movie. Not to pin a single performance on Joe Pesci's entire acting career. He's done so much more than that. But for whatever reason, just that being such a more prevalent film in my life than The Irishman.
Well, it is winter. It was just played nonstop on like ABC.
Yeah.
So
we ran through like the Christmas special. By the time this is going up, it's probably like March or something.
it's going up next week.
Oh, dude. Okay, so but a couple months ago around Christmas time, that was just playing nonstop. So I see Joe Pesci in another film. Like, you better watch out for that hot doorknob. Like,
You avoid those flamethrowers. Can we take a second?
you never know when Hugo Brasi's gonna put the blowtorch above the door.
Oh gosh.
to bridge the gap between Netflix series and anime.
Yeah.
We got it. Do you have a Netflix anime for us, David?
It's not. It's on. I think it's on Netflix. It might not be on Netflix. Doesn't matter. It's a good show. It's a good movie anyway. Have either of you seen the animated movie Your Name?
I don't think so.
No,
No, I don't think I've even heard of it.
Ian is
We
now.
have heavy breathing.
Yeah,
From Ian. In
Ian
the
has now
background.
become a cat again.
Yes,
Oh, gosh.
Ian comprehends what we're
So,
talking about.
if you guys get
or Calvin,
If you get a chance, look up the anime Your Name. It's one of those movies. It's an anime movie, very reminiscent of a Miyazaki film. It's not from Studio Ghibli, but it is beautiful. The story is fantastic. I cried at the end of that movie. It is so good. It's essentially about two people, one from the countryside, one from the city, basically being bound by fate, and every so often they wake up in each other's body, but they don't know each other's name, hence the name of the movie being Your Name.
No, I remember seeing trailers for this, not that many times, but just a couple times on YouTube.
It only played for like I think a month in American theaters.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance, watch it. It is so heartfelt. It's beautiful. The ending will make you cry. Because I'm not going to spoil anything. I know this movie came out in like a while ago, but I'm not going to spoil it because if you're going to watch this movie, you need that emotional impact of just the reveal of what is happening.
I mean, considering the reviews on it, it's got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Let me put it this way. Calvin, as an animator, as well.
Yeah.
There is a scene in this movie where I sat there legitimately slack-jawed, and I could not think of anything else but looking at that screen.
Really?
There was a moment where something bad is happening. I said I'm not going to spoil anything,
Okay.
but something horrifically bad is happening to like an entire town, and there's no music.
None at all.
It's just silent and sound effects. And I sat there and my heart hurt. Because this is like the last half hour of the movie. You've seen this town throughout the entire movie from different perspectives. You're starting to fall in love with it, and then you're watching what's happening, and you're just sitting there going, no.
God, that just makes you think of...
Oh, shit.
like,
it was so good.
It just makes you think of like certain scenes in certain movies, like way back in the day, where it's just slow-mo, and there's no music had in the background at all.
And you get that weight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't know why. This is not a movie I don't think has this sort of scene in it. I'm just thinking of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know why.
Which part are you specifically referring to?
I know
Are you talking about
there's
the
only one
ooh,
slow-mo.
yeah.
Yeah, there's only one slow-mo part in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's the car going over the
Yes,
house.
Yes.
exactly. That scene right there. That scene right there.
Oh, can we just say
I don't
love
think that
movie.
carries the same weight at all.
No.
Because it may as well be backed by like the theme from Ace Ventura and the Monster Truck. Just like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I love how I'm sitting over here spilling my guts about this amazingly emotional scene, and you're just like,
you know what that makes me think of? Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
And two guys joyriding in a Ferrari.
Oh, man. Starts getting hutch, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
I will
Ferris
say,
Bueller's Day Off though. Can we talk about
That
Ferris
was a
Bueller's
good
Day
movie. Oh, man. The end scene that every movie has ripped off since ever, where he's running through every backyard.
Yes. What I love from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, for whatever reason, my favorite scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I don't remember either of the other two friends' names. It's been a while.
All I remember is Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, it's Ferris Bueller and the other fellow, the tall, lanky fellow.
I think that character's name is Casey?
Casey. Yeah, maybe Casey.
We're going to call him Casey either way.
Sure.
I think it's Casey.
Y'all know who we're talking about. The gangly fellow who got the car stolen. His dad owned the car.
Oh.
Just the entire that not even just a scene, like the multiple different scenes with him just mouth agape at the car being just run up the mileage.
Oh no,
when he falls into the swimming pool.
No, the best moment of that is when they're trying to get the miles off the car by running it
in reverse,
and it falls off and just goes off a cliff.
God, the man had a full existential crisis and destroyed the car and then kicked it off.
The look on his face of him just staring at a car, almost upside down in a tree, like this happened. My life is over.
Oh God.
Okay,
yeah.
real quick. Do any of you guys remember
Charlie Sheen was in that movie?
Yeah, I'm like,
wait.
Charlie Sheen was in that movie.
Who was Charlie Sheen?
Charlie
in Ferris
Sheen is-
Bueller's Day Off.
He was apparently
Calvin-
Volbeck.
Calvin has looked
Yeah,
up
sure.
basically the IMDb page
Wait.
of Ferris Bueller Day Off, and
No,
there's just
he
Charlie
was the
Sheen.
guy in the police like place.
Yes, the
Yeah.
one that
Oh
his
my
that
God.
his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't notice that at all.
That was when the man had tiger blood.
All of us had an existential crisis of realizing Charlie Sheen is in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah,
That's when he was on a drug called Charlie Sheen.
that was the only scene he was in, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he was
He was
still new to acting back then.
he was
Man.
really young, and back when he was, before he was winning.
Also, can we just say that Matthew Broderick looks weird with glasses?
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller, the guy at the beginning.
Yeah,
I've not seen him since that movie. I'm now seeing a modern picture of Matthew Broderick, and he looks like a substitute teacher.
There was
Yeah. For
That's
whatever
the
reason, it makes
vibe.
me think of like Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the exact prescription. It's Drew
Yeah.
Carey's prescription.
It's just Drew Carey right there, just in a different form.
So on the subject, segue.
Segue, they're seamless. Brought to you by Ovaltine.
Guys, hold on. We'll cut for the segue. Cool. And
Perfect segue.
I've been watching old reruns, if anybody remembers this show, of the original Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, dude, same.
Yes.
It's a really
Hell
good
yes.
show.
I don't remember the last bit I watched, but I do remember just seeing like scenes from a hat throughout the years. Oh my God. Just even with the new host, I apologize, I don't remember her name. The
I
new
don't know
host
her name
woman.
either. I've not seen that show.
She's integrated so well into the show with all the classics. Like I'm happy they got like Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery still on the
dude,
show.
like they're like two really good improv artists.
Colin Mockery is a force of torrential chaos.
Yes.
He doesn't even know it. Behind those Steve Buscemi level tired eyes is a man who wants to tear this show apart, but he won't.
See, the only reason I think is because they usually make him play as the girl, as the woman lead.
No, they don't. He does that himself.
Does he?
That is his choice.
No one ever puts anyone on roles in that show ever. He'll go up on stage just like, I am the woman now. And
Well, there was
it's
like
me, your wife.
what was it? Like there was this one game that they usually played that involved like what was it? It was like scenes from a hat, but they like Drew Carey usually had like a postcard with like whoever was going to be the whatever role.
Oh,
right?
Was it like the director one? The director game? Where they
No,
were, like,
it wasn't
directing a
it wasn't
movie?
the director one.
Was it sound effects?
It might have been sound effects.
Where they had like audience members come up on occasion?
Probably.
and they do
It
the
was
sound-
probably that one. Either
okay.
that or like,
So in this compilation I saw, there was this episode where this poor unexpected pair of women, probably like in their 60s, go up to stage to do the sound effects for one of their bits. They only ever did one, and the sound effect was ooh.
No, I remember that one. That's a really good
No,
episode.
because it's like we got the police sirens going in the background. We're being chased. We're in hot pursuit. Ooh. Good harmony, gentlemen.
Yes, exactly.
Join us for our a cappella group.
Ooh.
I love how me and Jacob did not join you for the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
gee,
Calvin.
thanks, guys.
We left you hanging.
I feel so included.
We're not the Three Stooges. We left you
Hold
hanging.
on, we gotta.
Do,
We-
re, mi.
We have to hit.
Phil.
We gotta hit the toner first.
There you go.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, I didn't join
You
that
missed
one.
the boat.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
To give context,
You ruined the bit.
to give context, Jacob just carries a harmonica in his pocket at all times.
At least
I wish I was joking about this.
at this point,
Ever since he was given it.
Ever since he was given it and learned how to play Piano Man.
This next note's coming from my nostril.
Oh, fancy.
I could hear that through Ian's headphones.
Sorry, Ian. I'll do a lower note.
There you go. That should be better.
Why does that sound like the transition for a 1980s film?
Because it is. I've wrote it just now.
Like, I feel like I would be watching a Charlie Chaplin film as he's running away, just
That'd be the segue into one of the commercials where they talk about delicious sweet Ovaltine. And
I would like to reinforce that we are not sponsored by Ovaltine,
But we could be.
despite how much we keep bringing it up.
See, now, here are the similarities between myself and Colin Mockery. I, too, am a force of torrential chaos.
And Ovaltine.
And torrential Ovaltine, David.
Never say those words to me.
Torrential, a downfall of Ovaltine from the actual sky. That would be my dream.
Okay, that would be a nightmare scenario of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs where it just rains Ovaltine.
Yeah, but like it's just Ovaltine.
It would just be sticky.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It would be horrible.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just
The
ugh.
chaos. I
Okay,
would
can we
inflict
also point
upon
out
this
that
world.
if that did exist, the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs,
Yeah.
it would smell horrible.
Oh yeah, it would smell terrible.
All that food just in the sun.
Because I mean, think about this, right? Some of those foods are perishable, like
Some of
very
the-
perishable.
Like, some of it's meat.
A lot
Straight
of
up
it's
just
meat.
meat.
There's
You know,
meatball in the name.
Here's the concerning thing to me. Anything can be food. We're moving on to discussing the semantics of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. This is happening right now because
We went from harmonica to Cloudy with a Chance
We
of
went
Meatballs.
from D&D to this.
if it could be the fact that anything can be created from this water.
I think it's specifically culinary items.
Yeah, but like you can eat people.
That's not a culinary item, Jacob.
Not to you, David.
But still, I don't think restaurants are sitting there going, what should we have? We should have American, Chinese, or people.
How do you program that? Okay.
How do you program it in the first place?
What? Okay. Look. Let's suspend
It's
a little.
making actual full-made
Let's-
food.
Let's suspend a little disbelief and say, okay, you can make things out of water from the sky.
Okay, sure.
Why is the science of this limited to things you can buy at a Walmart? Why? Why is it limited to like I'm going into like Jewel Osco and those are the things that fall from the sky. Only what you can buy
Didn't-
from like
didn't he
Jewel
design
or a
it-
grocery
Didn't
store.
he design it to stop world hunger or something?
Yeah.
Which would make sense why it's just a Jewel Osco falling from the sky.
It was supposed to be that.
And then it got out of
that
hand.
still makes sense. Like I get the design, but the science.
This is a man with socks made of rubber.
that he
Look.
could never take off.
Which is horrific for his feet.
That's
That man has trench foot.
That man,
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't because it's like airtight sealed in there.
You know how wrinkly his feet would
Is
be
this
from
what you
sweat?
guys came to see the semi-professional
Jacob.
podcast for? Talking about Flint Lockwood's foot fungus.
Jacob.
Is this what you guys?
Jacob, think about it this way. It's watertight. He still sweats. That's not going anywhere.
So
You'd figure after enough time it would.
Yeah, you would think his shoe size would start going up eventually.
yeah, but his feet haven't really ever changed. I don't think.
Maybe they
Also-
maybe the pores are just closed.
Oh, Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, that would hurt.
that's even worse than the rating of meat.
Yeah.
Is it really?
It is.
It's raining like murdered pieces of cow from the sky, and people are like,
It's
huh.
raining meat. Hallelujah, it's raining meat.
I'm gonna be honest. I would take meat over my sweet, delicious Ovaltine.
No, can we just
But-
point out too that it's not normal size food, which would be terrifying.
Well, it started normal size
No,
food.
yeah,
but then according to this Sky food science,
It gets bigger.
the more water you add, the bigger the food gets.
Yeah,
so
you know.
we're about to try and tie together the science of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Clearly you can create matter with water, anything, and it will taste like food. Fine. I'm okay with this. But why? In what way does this machine malfunction or overfeed by pure time or availability of water in the air end up making giant meatballs?
Okay,
How?
here's my question, Jacob. Even more than that is when snow exists
Yes.
and it falls after a certain size because gravity.
Right.
How does a meatball become the size of a sedan and then decide to fall?
How did any of this food fit out of the machine? We all saw it. It's the size of like a shop vac.
I mean, eventually it made what, like a cocoon of like
Well,
food.
if you go with the second movie, it made an island.
Oh,
I never saw the second movie. I didn't
Neither-
realize there was one.
Neither have I, but I've read the synopsis, and it makes an island of food and living sentient creatures
I know they-
made of food.
I know they make a leak in a boat joke, which I was mad at.
Yes. No, here's my thing. If we're gonna go with the science of Claudia and the Chance of Meatballs, by the second movie, that means this thing makes life.
See, okay, then in that case, it's not limited to just food. Why did he use this just for food?
This is animals made of other animals.
Why
You're
was
creating life,
Okay,
souls.
here's
You're
my thing,
making
right?
effectively soul creatures.
There's a phenomenally distinct difference between the anatomy of a vegetable than there is to a T-bone steak. Why does all the food drop cooked?
Lightning.
Well, no, no, David. First use, sunny day. Not a cloud in the sky. I'm willing to say, sure, it can create.
You can have sun showers.
Why are there grill marks on the steak it drops?
grill lightning?
No!
It was a lightning that looked like a grill.
Just
Listen,
proving harmonica.
The clouds were shaped like grills.
Look, Zeus really wanted to have a cookout one day, and he just made, a grill made of lightning, and just decided, okay.
If a hot dog falls from the sky, you're telling me, oh, that's probably cooked through all the way. I can't even cook a hot dog through all the way in a pot of boiling water sometimes. Like, that's
How
made
do you
of water.
cook hot dogs?
Wrong, apparently.
It's like the simplest thing to not mess up.
It is, but I've certainly like those hot dogs are floating. It means they're done. Those
It's not
hot
an egg.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love you over here applying hard-boiled egg logic to a hot dog.
David, you're talking to the man that if there was one more step involved could burn cereal. If
You know there is like cereal you cook, so that is possible.
If legit you told me this cereal needs to go in the microwave for 5 seconds, this microwave would explode.